Om Shri Sai Ram. Welcome, dear listeners and viewers, to yet another episode of our panel discussion, a discussion that we started during the Aradhana Mahotsavam, a series of discussions on the topic how to experience the Sai Sannidhi. As part of this panel discussion, we had Brother Amay and Giridhar from the Center for Human Values, and we discussed on those gifts that Swami has given us, by dwelling on which we can feel closer to Swami, we can draw Swami's presence into our own lives. And we spoke about, firstly, the jewels of name and form, Nama and Rupa. Then we spoke about the life of Swami, the Charitra, which itself forms the body of the Bhagavatam, by dwelling on which, by going through which, we can feel close to Swami. In the third session, we spoke about the Kshetra, the Prashanti Nilayam, as a gift that Swami has given us. Today we're going to speak about the fourth gift, and even as we were concluding the last time, we told you that this is the most important, because the Lord comes down in a bewitching form. He plays with us. He inspires us so that we turn to this gift, if I could put it that way. So to participate in today's satsang with all of us, we have Brother Dr. K.M. Ganesh. He's a research associate from the Department of Chemistry from our university. We have Brother K.J. Srinivas, research scholar from the Department of Management and Commerce. And of course, we have Bishop Rushdie. I dare not introduce him to you. So we four are here to speak about the fourth gift that Swami has given all of us. And I will let Brother Bishu to introduce that gift, and then we're going to dwell on it. We're very excited about that.
Yes, so if you had watched the previous episode, as we ended the session on Bhagwan's gift to us, this beautiful heavenly hamlet of Prashanti Nilayam, we said that Bhagwan, in an interaction with a devotee many years ago, had said that if you want Sampurna Krupa, if you want complete grace, there is a way to do it. So this devotee, who was coming very frequently to Prashanti Nilayam in those days, they were blessed with so many opportunities that their daughter suddenly had this feeling that, will this continue? You know, every time you come, Bhagwan is calling you, he's showering so much attention, materializing things for you, and you want that this should never stop. Somewhere there was that fear of missing out in the future, FOMO as we say. And she thought, I should do something that this never should stop. So she picked up courage and she asked Swami, every time we come, you're so nice to us. Every time you bless us so profusely. How to maintain this, Swami? Will you keep showering your grace to us if we keep coming to Prashanti Nilayam like this? And Swami actually very keenly looked into her eyes, and Swami said, I am not giving you all this grace just because you're coming to Prashanti Nilayam. If you want Sampurna Krupa, if you want complete grace, don't hold on to me. Swami says, don't hold on to me. Hold on to my teaching. Swami said. Now, they were in a phase where they were feeling that, because they're coming to Swami every time, because they are all the time wanting a picture with Swami, a gift from Swami, they were feeling that it was because they were so attached to that name and form, or they were making that efforts to be in proximity, physical proximity of Bhagwan, that they were getting so much grace. And Swami was giving that message right in the 1950s. Swami is saying, what is more important is not me, but my teaching. And I feel this indeed is the most precious gift that Bhagwan has given us. We talked about name, we talked about the form, we talked about his life story. But I think if we can assimilate this gift of Bhagwan, everything else will automatically come to us.
Actually, brother, even as you're saying this, the thought passed my mind. We say, Krishna has said, Yogamu Kshemamu. Yogamu is your prapti, but Kshemam is the ability to retain it. So if you are following his teaching, their main thing was, Swami, will it continue?
Yes.
So the continuing is the ability to retain that boon, that prapti.
Yes.
Is if you follow his teaching,
Yes.
it will continue to be with you.
Absolutely. And we are so happy that we are having this discussion in the birthday season. In fact, this is one of the most landmark birthdays, the 96th birthday of Bhagwan. And I think there is nothing more precious that we can spend our time on, contemplating on, than this most powerful gift that he has given us, his teachings, his message. And I remember in the very first World Conference that was held, when people asked Swami, what is your message? What is your message? Swami said, my life is my message. And we are celebrating his life. We are celebrating how he entered our life. We are celebrating the joy of knowing Sai in our lives in this beautiful month. And really grateful to Bhagwan that he has given us this opportunity to contemplate on his teaching as this fourth gift. We move on from how to experience Sai Sanidhi to how to attain Sai Sanidhi. And I think that will be the focus of this session. And talking about messages, there are so many facets to his message. It's an ocean by itself. There's so many things Bhagwan has said in different ways, different modes. So, Brother Srinivas, what comes to your mind first when we say Swami's message, his message?
The first and foremost thing, which is, in a way, if I can take the liberty to say, is that when looking at Swami's messages, the first thing which comes to my mind is Swami's discourses. Now, Swami, to my knowledge, has given more than, I think, thousands of discourses which are available to us, apart from one-to-one interactions in interview room and so on. But discourses are something which are, as I said, it may sound very obvious, but these are the things which are now, thanks to technology, these are readily available to us. You take any context or you take any situation, if you want a solution, you just, now as I said, thanks to technology, you go to the Radio Sai or Satsai Media Center webpage and you find that there's a discourse page. And there you can enter the keyword. So suppose you have a doubt on faith as to how to increase the faith or how to develop faith, just type faith and you will get a list of discourses. What is more interesting is you get some small clippings, and if you are interested, you can go through the entire discourse. So that's where I find that discourses are one of the easiest ways now available to us. And really, Swami has also been so kind enough on all of us that he allowed us not only to capture him, but also to record his discourses in various forms. So what I do every day is I start my day by listening to Swami's discourse. It could be of 3 minutes clip or it could be entire discourse, but I make it sure that I pay some attention and pay some time in the beginning of the day to listen to Swami's discourse, and I take that message for that day and I try to see that how I can inculcate, how I can incorporate that message for that day. However, this has been the practice for last few years, and over a period of time, I have found that Swami in his discourses invariably talks about definitely about love, giving importance to time, treasuring the moments which we have got now, rather than thinking of past which is not with us anymore, or thinking of future which we don't know what is going to be. So there is something which I keep affirming myself, that for today, just for today, I'll be happy. Just for today, I'll be loving to every individual. Just for today, I will try to see Swami in everyone. And just for today, I will not waste my time, because if we go back to the discourse, right, in few days back in Dashera, Swami was telling that it is not only present, this moment, this is omnipresent. So if you look at this very moment when we are having this satsang, I would say that we have to treasure these moments wherein we are spending some time to not only recollect Swami's teachings, but also it is a lesson for us also to see that how we can incorporate these learnings in our day-to-day life and be in line with what Swami expects us to be. So this is one of the ways where I feel teachings are through from his discourses.
I mean, the very accessibility of Swami's voice, I mean, that's a boon that cannot be spoken enough about.
Yeah.
You can just switch a button and then you can listen to the voice of God.
Yes.
Now, especially a lot of people say talk about authenticity, if you talk about the previous avatars, the current avatar, we are so lucky that, I mean, when you listen to Swami's voice directly, it's 100% authentic, that you're hearing directly from the source.
Exactly.
So it's absolutely undiluted, direct, distilled truth. That
Even the Bhagavad Gita was written by someone else.
Yeah.
Krishna did not, himself write it.
Yeah.
So that way you have Bhagwan directly telling you.
And not only that, we are very lucky. We are still in a time where there are a lot of individuals, a lot of our elders who had a blessing of direct interaction with Bhagwan.
Yes.
And the uniqueness of the direct interaction with Bhagwan in the format of interviews or other veranda interaction is, the person has raised a particular problem that he was facing, and so the uniqueness in which Swami has answered, either through analogy, or Swami will sometimes take it to, like one of the teachers from the Brindavan campus. He was saying that Swami asked any questions from the boys, and so he told Swami one pertinent question which has been coming from the boys is how to control bad thoughts, which the students, when they join, they're in the late teenage and they're just, so how do we answer that? So Swami said, do you have a paper? So he said, no, Swami, I don't have a paper. Then Swami looked around and there was one envelope on the window. Swami just took that envelope and Swami rolled it. Swami rolled and gave it back to him and told, open it, make it straight. So sir just took the envelope, made it straight, but it rolled back.
Okay.
Every year we get the calendar, Swami's calendar, and we open it and it rolls back. We have to. So then Swami rolled it in the reverse direction and showed that once you roll it in the reverse direction, automatically the paper becomes straight. That's what we do with the new calendars of Bhagwan. Yes. So that instant Swami gave, through this analogy, that don't fight the bad thoughts, don't try to fight it. Rather, you substitute it with a good thought or good activity. Automatically, the bad thought is taken care, it goes away. So through this example of paper rolling, because we do it day to day life, but when it gets clubbed with a particular spiritual or philosophical context, then it makes sense. It goes into the heart. And that is one very beautiful thing about Swami's one-to-one direct interactions.
No, the beautiful thing about it, even as you were saying it, the thing that comes to me is, this is probably a technique that many people do speak about. But it will take some time. It is not like you start practicing today and tomorrow you will find the results.
Yeah.
And the very fact that we've heard it from a person who has heard it from Swami, it allows us to put our faith in that practice and give it that time it requires for it to show up in our mind, isn't it?
Yeah. It's actually called Pratipaksha Bhava.
Right.
Pratipaksha Bhava. Just substitute the Bhava with something else, which is exactly opposite, counter to it.
And actually, when you look at the whole gamut of his messages, the number of such informal interactions that Bhagwan has had with so many people. In the earlier days, Swami used to spend, they say, 3 hours morning interviews, afternoon 3 hours interviews. Yeah. His whole day was only talking, inspiring people. And what we have documentation is still, I think it's still a drop of the amount of time Swami has spent giving these messages. And we have the formal discourses, yes, but I think that is a very small part of this entire ocean of instructions, directions, messages that Swami has given. And when you're talking about direct messages, as we said before, this avatar did something which no other avatar has done. He himself took the pen. He himself took that pen. And that is absolutely phenomenal. I mean, if only Shirdi Sai would have, written the Shirdi Sai Satcharita himself, imagine how precious that would have been. But Swami did that. And he did it for nearly 25 years, from February 1958 till October 1984. Every month, he wrote down his message. Prema Vahini, Jnana Vahini, Dhyana Vahini, Bhagavata Vahini, Ramkatha Rasa Vahini, Leela Kaivalya Vahini, Gita Vahini. And, these streams went on and on. And today, you take anything, and even one page of any of these precious material is enough for you, actually. One paragraph is enough. I would say one line is enough. That is how precious these messages are. I was thinking of Prema Vahini. Swami says, when a gardener plucks a flower, the buds around that flower, they are so happy. They are so expectant. Tomorrow it will be our chance, to be offered to the Lord. Today, that flower got the chance. And this flower is so filled with enthusiasm. Buds are so filled with enthusiasm. Tomorrow when sun rises and, we will become, they have no complaints. They don't feel bad. They are not depressed about anything. They have these buds are so happy to be offered. They wait for the chance to be offered. The Swami says that's how a sadhaka should be, waiting for the chance to be offered, to offer themselves to the Lord. And that's how Swami says, you don't need anything else. If you're all the time joyful, if you're all the time enthusiastic, if you're all the time smiling, eager to do that sadhana, eager to dedicate yourself to God, it is even greater than karma, bhakti, jnana, Swami says. I mean, there are so many beautiful pearls that are there in this Vahinis. And I think that is something which no other avatar gave us that fortune. And we have it in the Sri Satya Sai avatar, isn't it?
Right. And talking about writings, Vahinis are a body of work in themselves. The number of letters that Swami wrote to devotees.
Yes.
Probably one of the earliest and the most historic, 1947, the letter that Swami wrote to his brother was not just to his brother. It was to all of us, all of humanity, writing about what to expect of him and what he expects of us.
Yes.
Right? And like that, how many letters to devotees from the 40s, 50s to the students.
Yes.
And I just want to probably read out one of those letters. I mean, this is not stand out in any way, right? Because every one of those letters is equally profound.
Yes.
But the only thing is, as I'm reading this letter, the listeners and the viewers, only the viewers, will be able to see Swami's own handwriting, because these were written by Swami in English to the students. And I think this is one of those letters where Swami writes to the Sri Satya Sai Hostel Brindavan, Brindavanam. So he writes and he says, "My beloved teachers and boys, accept my love and blessings. In this world of change, we meet with various vicissitudes of life, both pleasant and unpleasant. We are afflicted with diseases, both mental and physical. The body is stricken with diseases and the mind filled with worries. In this state of unhappiness, turmoil, and misery, there is only one way, and that is to take the refuge in Sai. Sai alone can remove the difficulties and diseases and bring us health, peace, and prosperity. He who has got Sai's name on his lips is a Jivan Mukta, because continuous remembrance of Sai eliminates the ego sense and grants him the realization of his immortal, changeless self. Name is a link between the devotee and Sai. It brings the devotee face to face with Sai and enables him to attain the knowledge of his oneness with him. Sai. With love, your Sai, your own Sai, Sri Satya Sai." I mean, this letter must have been written in the 70s or 80s. And it's not dated, so I'm not too sure. But today, in the kind of situation the whole world is in, there's so much solace to be drawn from this letter. And he took the time to write it and pass it on, and we can preserve it and ruminate over it now. One is these letters, and I came across another beautiful episode of Swami writing something else in a very interesting scenario. This was in the year 1958, and Swami was visiting Mysore, right? And he was visiting the family of Seshagiri Rao Garu, the first pujari of the mandir. And I think it's recorded in this beautiful book, Sri Satya Sai Madhura Smriti.
Yes.
So Swami goes into the house. He is a very casual visitor, he's part of the family. So Swami is walking around the drawing room, and on the table of this college student, Swami finds an autograph book, or a slam book, as we would call it, right? So Sucharita, madam, who has written this book, she was a college-going student then, and she was graduating that year. So just the previous day, she had bought that autograph book to be signed by her lecturers and classmates, and some of them had signed. So Swami comes and flips through the pages and looks at some of the comments they've written. And then it occurs to her, oh my God, Swami has come. I should have asked Swami to write first before I ask others. But nevertheless, she made a humble prayer to Swami. Swami, will you also write something? And Swami readily agreed. And Swami wrote a beautiful message on an autograph book. And probably I just read out those few lines so sweetly. And she says, because this is for all of womankind, the message that Swami wrote. So simply, Swami writes, Nayana Sucharita Anduko Asirvadamlu. Says, oh beloved one, Sucharita, accept my blessings. Swami says, the sacred scriptures are your eyes. With those scriptures as the base, let your vision be focused on this creation. Only then you will achieve Satya, Dharma and Prema. You will attain the grace and presence of the Supreme Lord of all. For a woman, virtuous character is everything. with such a character and with Sai's help, may you prosper with long, healthy life, happiness, peace, joy, and comfort. Right? Because it's a translation of the Telugu, and Swami signs off the letter by saying, Satkirtini sadinchu Saini hridayamununchu. Meaning that achieve good name and fame, keep Sai in your heart. Shri Satya Sai Baba Puttaparthi.
Actually, even as you're reading, brother, we have heard so many times there's nothing wrong with the Srishti. It's always in the Drishti. But when you say, like Swami is saying that, no, have the Drishti Kon of a Shastras. That with that perspective, if you see the world,
Yes.
that is how we should be actually looking at the world.
Yes.
Right.
So always, means even every moment we are learning,
Yes.
There's nothing wrong with the Drishti. But what Drishti?
The
Answer is
vision.
here.
If you can see everything through the vision of the scriptures,
Yeah.
you will only see the play of his beautiful manifestations.
Right.
in the
And
creation.
it will result in Satya Dharma Prema, sprouting in your heart. Such a beautiful message, but even as we go through these messages, brother was saying thousands of discourses,
Yeah,
15 Vahinis, and it is there, but then it's left to us.
Yeah.
Right? How do we interact with that message? How do we draw out what is necessary for us? So I think in the next few minutes, probably each one of us can discuss about this. How we tried in each of our lives, or is there anything in Swami's message that kind of called out to us when we first heard it? Probably Ganesh, we could start.
One way I see Swami's message is like medicine. Okay. Swami has told in one of the discourse that the food should be taken as a medicine for the disease that is hunger.
Right.
Okay. And many of us sometimes, not just 3 times a day, in middle, the body has the habit of snacking also. Same way, mind also needs the snacks. But what snacks we feed the mind, if it goes into the realm of entertainment and pleasures only, it is like Swami says, you're drinking a salt water. Okay. Trying to quench your thirst. The more you drink, the more thirsty you become. Because the problem is not with the water. The problem is with the salt in the water. So when I read Swami's discourse with a prayer, it's like if I'm going to a pharmaceutical shop, it has got thousands of medicines. I don't know which medicine is best for me. I normally go to a doctor, take the prescription, and then show the prescription to the shopkeeper, and he gives the medicine. So something which is as complex as mind, Swami says mind stuff. Okay, we are so lucky to pray to the omniconscious reality, omniconscious, omnipresent, omnipotent. We pray to him. I mean, that's what I do. Whenever the mind is kind of agitated, I pray to him. And Swami, your discourses, all the 42 volumes are like it's like a medicine, where what medicine is at what point of time is correct for me, you only know. I just pray, and most of the time I go to library, and now because of technology, thanks to Radio Sai and the Book Trust, we have all the discourses in the phone. So if I'm with the phone or if I'm in the library, I just have to randomly pick a discourse, and I just randomly I do with an attitude of prayer. It is not like, it's not like that you are going to an oracle and then you have to have, that also I've seen. If I do randomly, the reciprocation is not like that. But if you're really putting your bhavam and feeling genuinely,
you feel that you are actually now entering into the interview room.
We should have that feeling. He just reflects. Swami says, I'm the reflection. And the answer that he gives, like one instance, I clearly remember, it has gone so deep into me. I carry that experience even now very strongly. There was a phase during my research where everything was going south. Whatever I was trying, the results were not coming, or the instrument was failing. So I just went to library, and Swami, I was really, really down at that time. And this was going on for weeks together. Mm-hmm. Swami, please, give me some. I mean, I want your help. I need your help. So I picked up one of the volumes of Satya Sai Speaks and went to a corner, put on the fan, and then prayed to Swami once again, and just opened the book with my closed eyes and put my hand on one of the paragraphs. And my finger was resting on the word Dhairyam. Mm-hmm. And the translation of the word Dhairyam was the ability to bear the suffering. Okay.
Oh God.
And I read 2-3 lines, and at that moment it clicked to me that in the year 2010, Swami had actually called all the research scholars inside the Bhajan hall, and he gave one-to-one interaction. I mean, he was interacting with most of the research scholars. And at that juncture, when Swami was crossing me, it was an impromptu question. I mean, impromptu prayer to Swami. Swami Dhairyam Kavali. And at that point of time, when I prayed for Dhairyam, in my mind, Dhairyam means courage, give me fearlessness.
So generally it is understood.
That's how we understand Dheeraj Rakho. But, and I told Swami twice, and Swami pressed my hand and told Dhairyam, reciprocating that, okay, I'm giving you Dhairya. And this is several years down the line, after 4-5 years, when I'm reading the word, and both the things connected, okay, the ability to bear it. So, at that moment, all the suffering, the whole thing which was prepared, it developed into a meaning, and I felt so peaceful inside. Whenever you connect with Bhagwan,
Swami has
everything
granted you
away.
that Dhairya.
Swami,
That's what it means. Swami has given
it's
you
for
that.
you, it's for your own strengthening. When Swami calls us Bangaru, earlier Swami is calling us gold. But then one day I read Swami says, goldsmith will melt the gold till he is able to see the reflection. So you have to go through the heat also. Bangaru means you have to go through the treatment. I'll make you as pure till I see myself in you. So it is not that you're golden boy, you're invaluable. No, if you have to be invaluable, you have to be pure. And you should be ready to go through the fire. So it's all in preparation to that what Swami is making us.
In fact, the other thing that comes to mind, as you say, though we have these body of messages of Bhagwan, all these discourses, his writings and everything, but the messages of Bhagwan continue even now. See, just like, how many things Swami connected? He had told you what is Dhairya. Now you're going through this, you go to library, you open the book and exactly your finger is on Dhairya.
Is on the word Dhairya.
And the discourse was delivered
Well, in 80s.
So how many things, Bhagwan put together just to communicate that message? I think that is continuously happening all the time. As you said, if you are genuine, if you want Bhagwan to give us a message, he's constantly doing that. And I think that becomes, it's like there is a Bhagavad Gita that is constantly happening within all of us. Krishna is constantly giving us. You have any such experience, brother, in the hostel?
So see, as brother is telling now, you also told that there's a plethora of messages. There are so many things available to us. Sometimes I feel we get confused as to what to take, what not to take. And just this, as brother Ganesh was sharing the experience, I was thinking that, see, you take one step toward God and Swami will take 100 steps towards us, towards you. So what happened was, I was also in the same dilemma as to that there are so many things what to do, especially as a student. When we join the institution, we see that our seniors following so many things. Our teachers are so meticulous and they always talk of Swami. They always talk of Swami's teachings and they reinforce that you should do this way. You should see that you live up to the expectations of Swami. I was very excited, at the same time confused also as to what to do.
Where to begin?
It's quite overwhelming.
Yeah. So I was just thinking that way. And one day, it was initial, back in 2013 when I had joined for my MBA program, somewhere around July, I thought, okay, let me see what to do. What teaching should I take? Because Swami himself has told in many discourses that at least you take one teaching of mine and put into practice if you're not able to do everything, which is sometimes looks at from our side, we may find it a little impractical. So I thought, let me see. So I thought, let me try this out, that not to speak anything against or evil of anyone. So this has a little small background, because back in classes, Professor Bhagya was also very keen on telling that how Swami was insisting students not to talk excessively and to keep quiet. And during those days only, one of our other teachers, Dr. Niranjan, also had shared his experiences where Swami had told that when you say calming your mind, it is not that externally you keep quiet, but rather you should calm your mind internally. So he told that how he had put into practice of consciously cutting down on speaking. So I thought, let me also do that, and taking inspiration from Swami's discourses and also from our teachers, I consciously tried to see what I'm speaking, and wherever not necessary, I will not speak much. So then for a period of 1 week or 10 days, I was trying to do that. And I found that over a period of 1 week or 10 days, there is nothing to speak actually. Then I understood, oh, what I'm speaking is actually of no use to anyone. I'm either speaking of something which is either irrelevant or about somebody or about something which is actually not adding any value to me spiritually in any way. But however, what to do? I've been used to this kind of life. So I thought, okay, let me try. So I was trying. And as I was doing that, after around a week or 10 days, our room teacher one night during study hours time, he came and told me, see brother, you have to sit in the auditorium, the first row of, in the auditorium. And before I could ask why, he said he left. So I thought, okay, I've been instructed to sit in the first row in the auditorium during the prayer session. So next following day, I went to the auditorium, sat as per the instructions in the first row. Now, though it was 2 months since I had joined, I didn't know what exactly was happening during the choir sessions because I was heavily involved in dispensary, and dispensary boys usually go late to the college.
Right.
So I was thinking, what is happening? Some function, some is happening. Suddenly, one of the teachers started reading out the names. And there was something called Goodness Awards. So this Goodness Award was given to the students who are meticulously following hostel schedule or putting into practice some of the teachings of Swami. Then it didn't stuck to me that why I've been. So suddenly my name was called out, and I was surprised. Why then? Because I didn't get up, I didn't respond. They called it for the second time, and then I had to go.
You didn't believe initially.
No, I didn't believe. Seriously, I was thinking, why my name? So, but then second time when they called, I went up, took the gift, and I was looking at Swami's throne because after taking the gift, we had to go down to Swami's throne and take Swami's blessings and come down. As I was going down to Swami's throne, tears fell off my eyes, and I was just thinking, what have I done that I have been giving all these things? What do I really deserve all these things? Then anyway, I couldn't say anything. I just came back and I sat, and as I was looking at Swami's throne, I still remember, I was just thinking that what is it that I have done that through this means this acknowledgement is coming. And then suddenly it stuck to me that, oh, I've been practicing this for last 1 week, 10 days. As I say, I get goosebumps now. That moment was so precious to me that, oh, you put into practice one small teaching of Swami, and he's so merciful that he will not even look at whether we have achieved that or not. He just sees our efforts. He's so merciful that our efforts are enough for him, and he shares his divine grace on us. From then, if I look at my life so far, not that I have completely stopped talking about anything like that, but over a period, what happened is that I have made it a point that when I find myself into such kind of situations where I get into a kind of talking where I have to speak about somebody wrong thing or something, and I find that while talking I'm developing some kind of negative emotion, I refrain myself from talking, or I just come out of the situations, or I'll just remain quiet. So this is how I have learned to manage things, because solution is not to cut away but to see that how we can be in the situation but still we maintain the dignity and we maintain what principles we hold on to. So that has been a great learning so far.
The most beautiful thing is that acknowledgement. I'm sure I mentioned this before in the programs that we had before. One of our professors was explaining this when some student asked him, "Sir, what is the role of Swami?" Because Swami says, "I'm a witness." But then we don't want Swami to be a witness. We want him to involve himself in our life. If I'm doing something wrong, I would rather have Swami stopping me before I do that mistake. So what is Swami's role in our life when we are going through this this efforts to practice Swami? So he gave this wonderful analogy. He said, imagine you're writing an exam and the teacher who taught you the subject is invigilating, right? He cannot, of course, come and tell you if you're doing a mistake in your answering. But nevertheless, he's interested in how you're faring. So he comes and looks over your shoulder and seeing how you're doing. So there's a tough problem when you've solved it right. He just pats you on the back and says, "Good."
Yes.
The amount of confidence that will add to you cannot be described.
Absolutely.
Right? He has not cheated.
Yes.
But just that encouragement at the right time. It could be a simple thing. A Goodness Award might be like just another routine in the hostel. But at that point that, what it means, and talking about talking ill of others and things like that. I recall one of the first most striking thing that struck me from Swami's message. When we were a student in undergraduate in Vrindavan, Swami was giving a Trai session where all of a sudden Swami said this, thing that we've heard afterwards many times from Swami. Swami said, see, you should always see the good in others. You should not focus on the bad. And then Swami went on to say, because if you see something that is good in others and if you try to focus on that, you will notice that goodness actually comes to you. Yeah. You will find that good quality, starts showing up in you. And Swami said, same is the thing when you point at somebody and say, that's a bad quality. You will find that you are doing the same mistake or you are doing the same thing that you were accusing somebody of doing. And Swami said, this doesn't happen over lifetimes. It happens in a real time frame. And Swami said, you can try. You can experiment it. And it is definitely, I can tell this for sure. There are many things which I've admired in people somebody would come and admire in me. I'd say, I never made an effort to do this, right? This is something that Swami had said. And I've heard this from some of my seniors. Said one of my seniors was telling me that, I was looking at this friend of mine and I was saying, how can he talk like this? How can he lose his temper like this or something like that? And I found myself 2 weeks later in the same situation, reacting the same way. And I said, this is Swami telling me that I was focusing on the wrong thing in the person. Yes. But, for a young mind sitting in front of Swami, that challenge was a catch, right? Yes. You try it out, it works.
Exactly.
And when you do it and it works, the kind of affinity you have towards that particular message, it's pretty exciting, isn't it?
Actually,
there are two things which are coming.
Yes.
When Swami says that you pretend, tend and end.
Yes.
And I see one of the best examples for all these things are the teachers here in our university. Because when we stay as a student in the hostel, we find that our teachers are a great inspiration to us, be it in the college who are day teachers or in the hostel. I have this thing that all senior professors, they have had so much of effort going in taking care of us. I sometimes felt that when do they take care of their families? Half of the time, especially sports meet or convocation dramas, these kind of events, they spend so much of time from morning to night. That's why I feel that it's easy to look at the good things in them, and then we can also, it's an inspiration from us, from them to us.
Absolutely. I mean, talking about a challenge, really, I think that's what happens when an avatar comes. You're so encouraged to take up these spiritual challenges, because you can embark onto life's greatest adventure with the greatest force with you to support you, and you can actually see the results of that also. And I think when you talked about seeing goodness, I think one difference between us and Swami is this. Suppose one person does 1,000 good acts and does one thing wrong. What happens is, generally our outlook, the world, we look at that one wrong with 1,000 eyes. You forget everything good that he had done. And you go for darshan. One person goes for darshan and he's sitting there. He has done 1,000 wrongs in his life and he has done one good. And Swami will look at that one good with 1,000 eyes. And that is the reason why he's showering so much. And I felt maybe that is what is probably unconditional love is, I mean, we can never ever say that we have understood unconditional love, but maybe one facet of that unconditional love. And this used to always go in my mind, how can we love like that, the way Bhagwan loves? And this aspect of being able to love someone by only looking at the goodness. I remember there have been times when, I have to get some work done through, with a person who is unreasonable, illogical, and you find it very difficult, the situations he puts you into, but you have to get your things done. And I have so many times seen that once you go to that person with this approach of, I will see only the good, I won't see anything past, I will just focus on all that is nice in him, and I will also operate from a space of love. And I have seen things just change. The responses change. Unexpected miracles happen actually. So sometimes it might take a little while, but I think this whole thing of being able to love unconditionally, being able to love without ego, that egoless love, I think is something, it's a very beautiful challenge. We all can write books about, my experiments with love the way Bhagwan wants us to love. And I think that will be a very beautiful volume, trying to live his messages. And if you look at Bhagwan's teachings, you take anything, Bhagwan has made it so easy for us because he has given, the way he has communicated this to us, Swami can pick up anything. So as you said, Swami can pick up a handkerchief, Swami can pick up a calendar, Swami can pick up anything, and that will become an instructional tool. And we have seen that during discourses. And I think there are so many occasions when very, very obtuse concepts, very deep spiritual concepts, Swami just makes it so easy for us to grasp, for us to understand, only because the way he said it, the example he brought in, the analogy he brought in. Has it ever occurred like that to you, Brother Ganesh? Something you had finding difficult to understand. And Swami said something, and the way
Yeah,
he said it,
yeah.
it just entered into me.
Definitely. Like, as an 8th standard boy, there's one shloka in Bhagavad Gita where Krishna says, Tasmat Sarva Kaleshu. Actually, Tasmat Sarveshu Kaleshu Ma Manusmara Yudhyacha. Means at all the time, always, think of me and fight to Arjuna. So at that time, I had a doubt. Like, if you're thinking of Krishna at the same time, how do you fight? Means like, suppose, at that point I was just getting into algebra, and so if I'm solving a complex mathematical problem, that was my doubt. Okay,
Yeah,
so I
that's
have to focus on how to get the solution and how do I think of Krishna. I exactly remember this was my doubt. Okay, so and it was there for several years. Okay, it cannot be like you were focusing on love. The other person was probably not behaving properly or whatever it is, but still you are seeing that you're putting the love in front and you're approaching him. Very difficult humanly. Okay, but since we are trying to put Swami's teaching into our day-to-day life, that's what we have to do. But in this, fight. Go and fight. Think of me and go and fight. So,
But I can fight or think of you. I can't do both.
Both at the same time. And I was reading, that time I was also reading Vivekananda's book. He says, mind can focus only at one thing at one time. So it was kind of, you cannot. So after several years, in one of the discourse as I was reading, Swami gives the same shloka and says, it clarifies with an analogy. Like if a person is driving a car in a very busy street, okay, he might be talking, he might be even eating, he might be looking sometime behind to talk to someone. But all the time he's mindful of what is happening on the road. Okay, his attention is primarily on the road. So it is not that how you can do two things at a time. No, you have to be mindful. The right word is mindfulness. So we have to be mindfulness about the presence of God in our day-to-day life. In fact, a beautiful insight came when you were giving the example of the invigilator. I don't know how many of you agree with me, but if an invigilator comes and stands next to you, you stop writing actually because you want him to go. You become very conscious. You feel, let them go. Okay. So imagine, we are saying, okay, God is like the invigilator, he comes and pats. But see the beauty of God, okay. One instance, we are trying to see God everywhere. But imagine he keeps showing his presence every moment. He'll be like, he gives enough space to us. And he wants us to choose good or bad. That is the beauty of being a human being. There is good in the creation, bad in the creation, they say. It's up to, he has given us, if I'm an angel, I don't have a choice. I have to do good only. If I'm a devil, I have to do bad only. But as a human being, he gives enough space. Yes. He has given the teaching. Okay, and when I make the right choice, at the right time, he'll come and give a pat. So that balance which Swami does, that is the beauty. That is what I would say is the beautiful about this avatar.
Wow. Fantastic. Swami used to give many analogies about this whole thing of how you can be doing what you're doing and still be conscious of his presence.
Yeah.
Swami used to talk about how the lady who's carrying water, there are 3 pots on her head. She's carrying water and she's having her baby on her arms and her eyes on the road. She's conscious of everything. Even as all this is happening, her attention
Swami adds, and also gossiping.
They'll be gossiping, But she'll be mindful about the kid, about the child.
Mindful,
The mindfulness is what Krishna was telling Arjuna at that point. Yes. Be mindful that everything, in fact, in the Vishwarupa Darshana, he sees that all the Kauravas, everybody is finished already. And Krishna says, I'm just giving you an opportunity. If you are not taking that chance, somebody else will come. It's already done. So
talking about Krishna, Arjuna, once in Kodaikanal, Swami asked one boy, how are you? And the boy said, okay, Swami. Then Swami said, okay means what? So he said, good, Swami. No, what is the inner significance of okay? And he didn't know what to say. And Swami said, okay means Om Krishna. First time you're saying this. What is this? Om
Krishna.
Okay. Om Krishna. I'm saying it means just like Krishna was with Arjuna, and because of that everything was okay. Om means Krishna is with you. O means earth. And Arjuna is the son of Mother Earth.
Partha.
Arjuna was called Partha, Prithvi Putra. Swami said everyone is a child of Mother Earth. O means just like Arjuna became victorious, everything was okay for Arjuna because Krishna was there. Similarly, when you say okay, it means that Krishna is with me. And I think if we have this consciously in our mind, if somebody asks, how are you? And you say, I'm okay. Usually, I'm okay means I'm with Krishna. I'm with God.
This okay also is a Mahamantra. See, it's a Mahamantra. Actually. Okay. It's a Mahamantra actually. Swami.
Yeah. And other beautiful aspect also, when Swami should say, oh, Swami should always say it's a zero. Zero means you are nothing. You are nobody. Oh, it's a zero. So you are nothing, you are nobody. If you are something, it's because of Krishna. I'm zero and God is the hero. Sure. So I think to constantly, all the time be in this frame of mind.
The beautiful thing is even that zero, as you say it, I mean, as a student, it's so easy to relate to.
Yeah.
You could have 100 zeros, the value is still zero.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Swami would say, just put one and then it gets the value.
Yes.
I mean, it makes so much sense as a student when you listen to an analogy like that, isn't it?
So there are, as brother said, as you said, oh Krishna, there are many Mahamantras Swami has given us. And Swami has spoken about also. One such example or Mahamantra I can say is Gayatri Mantra.
Of course.
And Swami in many discourses, many forms, especially to the youth and the children, he has told how important and how it is good to chant Gayatri Mantra in a day-to-day life, at least thrice in a day.
In Dharmavahini, Swami says, you can give up any mantra, but don't give up Gayatri Mantra. Means it's written in Swami.
Yes, mother of all mantras.
Mother of all mantras.
So what happens is, I have got a small incident where I had experimented with Gayatri Mantra based on what Swami had told. And I saw beautiful improvement in my life. However, what happens is, one analogy if we take, if we are on a bicycle and we want to compete with a train, Swami says it is not possible because we are on a vehicle which is having less potential, or the capacity is not equivalent to train to compete with it. Whereas if only we take a flight or an aeroplane, then we'll be able to succeed in competing or overtaking the train. So if you look at the Gayatri Mantra, such mantras also, in day-to-day life, we try to put into practice so many things, but somehow we fail to achieve that success, that we fail to achieve, to get into what we actually desire to. But if we resort to Mahamantras like Gayatri Mantra and we take help of such mantras, because these mantras have the potency to take us to that next level, we'll be able to achieve what we desire to. So back in student days, I was having this problem of focusing on academics. Somehow I was finding it very tough and my scores were not so very high, not so very good. And I used to think what to do. And suddenly in My Dear Students book, I found the Swami telling that you should chant Gayatri Mantra and you should chant Suprabhatam every day and 21 times Omkaram. These all things will lead you to improve your concentrations and focus. So I thought, okay, fine, why not do that? And Swami also told that while taking bath, you chant Gayatri Mantra, it will cleanse your body. Yeah. While taking food, chant Gayatri Mantra, it will purify the food. Before studying, you chant Gayatri Mantra 3 times, it will give you focus. So I thought, okay, fine, 3 times is not a big deal. Let me do it. But on the go also we can do. We need not specifically do some rituals for it. So I tried with it, and over a period of time, I found that by doing this, specifically Swami Suprabhatam and Gayatri Mantra, I found that my focus, my concentration on academics increased to a great extent. Today also I find some problem. I make it a point that I chant Suprabhatam continuously. I chant Gayatri Mantra and I find that I do get some solutions. If I don't get the solution, at least I get the power to face a situation. There has been many number of times, especially when we go to government offices, not to blame anybody, but situations are such that they ask bribe. And I was in a firm this thing that I am not going to pay even a single penny. Do whatever you want to do, especially when I had an opportunity to take some of the students from our institution for their open schooling examinations, and there they were demanding high amount of money for each subject. I said, nothing doing, I'm not going to give you anything, because first thing is we are coming from Swami's institutions, and that time I didn't know what to do. That moment of time it occurred to me that let me chant Sai Gayatri if nothing else. So I kept chanting Sai Gayatri, and situations were such that I could overcome. There are many such experiences, I'm sure, with many of the people. If we ask, they would have had this kind of experience. But what I want to drive out here is that Swami has given many such analogies, many such mantras to all of us, to which we can resort to and experience a great amount of nearness and conviction to stick on to his teachings.
Superpower. You're blessed with superpower.
No, actually, if some 50 years back or 100 years back, no, if somebody says you can sitting in India, you can talk to somebody in America instantly, they'll laugh at you.
Yeah.
But now because Swami has said this is Yantra Shakti.
Yes.
Okay, same way the Mantra Shakti is there. We don't know the science of Mantra Shakti.
Yes.
See, when we eat food, it gets digested. What happens inside, no, we have no knowledge, but we are getting energy. Same way the mantra when we chant, it has its own science in which it manifests.
That's where aptly said, spirituality begins where science ends.
Absolutely.
But I think the beauty is that same spirituality Swami explains using simple tools that we understand.
In a scientific
in fact, right? And it's pretty much the way of a master, really. What you understand, something that is transcendental is fit into that understanding, and your mind is expanded to gather that. If you ask me to pick an analogy of Swami, I think it's going to be very difficult. I'm spoiled for choice. So I thought we'll just listen to Swami giving an analogy, a very beautiful analogy where Swami is talking about how there should be friendship between man and God. Right?
Wow.
Very sweetly Swami is saying. So we'll listen to it in Swami's own voice. And it's very sweet the way Swami is narrating it, needless to say.
పాలలో నీళ్లు చేరినాయి.
The water
నీరు లేకుండా
joins
పాలు
the milk,
దానికి వీలు లేదు.
and the milk cannot exist without water.
కానీ ఆ నీరు పాలతో చేరటం వల్ల పాలు ఎంతనో ఆనందాన్ని అనుభవిస్తాయి.
In the company of the water, the milk is very happy.
నీరు పాలు రెండు కూడాను సత్సంగం.
The combination of milk and water is satsanga, good
అది
company.
ఏ సరైనటువంటి స్నేహము.
That is true ideal friendship.
అట్టి శాశ్వతమైనటువంటి స్నేహాన్ని నిరంతరం కూడాను కాపాడుకుంటూ రావాలి.
We should sustain this permanent friendship.
కానీ ఈ స్నేహము ఏ విధంగా ఉంటుందో మీరు అర్థం చేసుకోవాలి.
You have to understand how that friendship lasts.
పాలను స్టవ్ పైన పెట్టి కాంచినప్పుడు
And once you boil the milk, keeping it on the stove,
అందులో ఉన్నటువంటి నీరందరూ కూడా ఆవిరైపోతుంది.
all the water gets transformed into vapor.
ఆ నీరు తనను విడిచిపోయింది కదా అని పాలు భరించుకోలేక తన జీవితాన్ని అగ్నిలో వేయడానికి సిద్ధమవుతుంది.
The milk cannot bear this separation because water is lost by way of vapor, so it boils and jumps into the
ఈ
fire.
పాల నుంచి నీరు వేరైన తక్షణమే పాలు పొంగి పొయ్యిలో పడిపోతాయి.
The moment water gets itself separated out of the milk, the milk
స్నేహితుడైనటువంటి జీవితం
fills
నాకు
the fire.
అక్కర్లేదనుకుంటుంది.
It feels that it cannot lead the life of separation.
కనుక ఈ సపరేషన్ కు తాను ఏమాత్రము సంతోషించదు.
He is not happy with this separation either.
తక్షణమే కొన్ని నీరు తీసుకుని ఆ పాల పైన వేసినప్పుడు అది చల్లారిపోతుంది.
The moment you sprinkle some water on the boiling milk, it gets pacified.
ఎడబాటు జరిగినటువంటి యొక్క ఈ స్నేహితుడు తిరిగి నాతో సంబంధం కలిగింది అని ఆనందిస్తుంది.
The separated friend joined me once again, and so it's
ఇది
delightful.
నిజమైనటువంటి నరనారాయణుల యొక్క సంబంధము.
This is true relationship between Nara and Narayana.
జీవుడు దేవునితో కూడినప్పుడు దేవుడు ఎంతనో ఆనందంగా ఉంటాడు.
When the individual joins the company of God, he will be
కానీ
happy.
ఈ ప్రాకృతమైనటువంటి విషయవాసంలో మునిగి
Because of sensual pleasure,
ప్రపంచ సంబంధమైనటువంటి యొక్క ఆనందంలో మునిగి
because of worldly pleasures that he
ఈ
wants,
ప్రవృత్తి యొక్క లక్షణాన్ని ఆశించి
he wants all external
ఈ
pursuits.
దృశ్యకల్పితమైన జగత్తులో పడిపోవటం చేత
He gets himself drowned in this
దైవముడు
world,
చాలా బాధపడతాడు.
and he feels so sad having
అయ్యో
been away
నన్ను
from God.
వదిలిపోయినాడా ఈ జీవుడు.
God feels so sad that the individual left him.
అందువల్లనే అట్టి భగవంతునికి ఇట్టి విచారము కాకుండా చేయటం కోసమని
In order to see God would not be sad in a moment.
తిరిగి అర్పితము అనేటువంటి అతనికి చేస్తే తిరిగి దైవం ఆనందంగా ఉంటాడు.
When once the surrender or offering takes place, God would be happy
కనుక
again.
బొగ్గు అజ్ఞానము,
And the coal is ignorance.
అగ్ని జ్ఞానము,
Fire is wisdom.
జ్ఞానాజ్ఞానములు రెండు చేరటమే కాకుండా
It's not the combination of
దైవ
wisdom and
ప్రేమ
ignorance.
అనేటువంటి ఒక గాలి కూడా వీచిందంటే దైవము ఒక్కటైపోతాడు.
In addition to the combination of ignorance and wisdom, the fire and the
జీవుడు
coal,
దేవుడు
there is the fan of the
ఒకటైపోతాడు.
divine law.
జీవుడు దేవుడు ఒకటైపోతాడు.
Then the individual becomes
బింబ
one
ప్రతిబింబం
with
రెండు
God.
ఏకమైపోతాయి.
The reflection becomes one with object.
కానీ జీవుడు బాధపడటం లేదు, కానీ దేవుడు చాలా బాధపడుతుంటాడు.
Individual is not feeling sad, but God is feeling
దేవుడికి
sad.
బాధ ఏమాత్రము లేదు.
And in fact, there's no sadness at
కానీ
all. But
తన యొక్క మిత్రుడు తనకు దూరం అయిపోతున్నాడే అనేటువంటి బాధ మాత్రమే ఉంటుంటాడు.
God feels sad because his friend, the individual, is cutting off
ఈ
himself from him.
జగత్తులో మనకు శాశ్వతమైనటువంటి మిత్రుడు భగవంతుడు ఒక్కడే.
There's only one permanent friend in this world, God
ఈ
only.
లౌకికమైనటువంటి ఫ్రెండ్స్ అంతా కూడా హలో హలో హౌ ఆర్ యు గుడ్ బై దీంతోనే మనం ముగిసిపోతుండాలి.
All worldly friends limit themselves with these three things. Hello, how are you? Goodbye.
కానీ భగవంతుడు హలో అనడు. హౌ ఆర్ యు అనడు, గుడ్ బై అని చెప్పాడు.
God will never say, hello, how are you, goodbye.
కానీ భగవంతుడు చేరినంత వరకు కూడాను తనకు ఆనందము, భక్తునికి ఆనందం.
When once you join one with God, you will be happy and he will be happy.
కానీ ఎడబాటు జరిగినప్పుడు భగవంతుడు చెప్పడు కానీ బాధపడుతుంటాడు.
When there is separation, God would not stay, but he feels sad.
ఎందుకు ఈ జీవుడు ఈ విధమైన పెదమార్గం పడుతున్నాడు?
Why the individual is going in wrong
ఎందుకు ఈ
path?
సత్యాన్ని మర్చిపోతున్నాడు?
Why has he forgotten?
దివ్యత్వానికి దూరం అవుతున్నాడు,
Why has he distanced from
పవిత్రతను
divinity?
కోల్పోతున్నాడు
Why has he lost
అని
dignity?
తాను చాలా బాధపడుతుంటాడు.
So feeling, he feels
ఇది
very
కూడా
sad.
భగవంతుని నిమిత్తం కాదు,
It's not for his own.
భక్తుని నిమిత్తమే.
God feels sad for
ఏది
devotees.
చేసినా, ఏది చూచినా, ఏది చెప్పినా కానీ నీ కోసమని.
Whatever that is said, whatever that is done, whatever that is seen, it's for you.
Wasn't that a very, very beautiful clip?
Yes.
And the beautiful thing, the way Swami was saying that God does not have feelings, likes and dislikes and pain and pleasure. But even otherwise, God feels sad that if somebody, a devotee, goes astray. And what better way to ensure that we are in the direction towards Swami than to focus on Swami's message? Right? This is the no-brainer, right? Of course,
Absolutely.
There is no other way to really turn your life and align it to Swami. But having said that, how easy is that really?
Yes.
Because oftentimes when you see, you take up, as even Brother Srinivas was telling, is there anything, one thing that I can take up, one aspect of Swami's message? And even as you're trying to practice that, you listen to some other aspect of Swami's message from Swami himself, and you find that how can I practice this when Swami is saying that? Right? The apparent contradictions in the spiritual message that Swami gives. Have you had any
Yes,
experiences
definitely.
with
In
such
fact, recently on Avatar Declaration Day, 20th of October, Swami clearly says that there is nothing like good, nothing bad. Everything is God's will. You should not segregate like that. And Swami has told many times that run away from bad company. The ABC of life is avoid bad company. So you actually start thinking, what Swami, once on one instance you're saying this, and on other instance, no, everything is God's will. So how do we like practice? So in one of the discourses, like Swami clarifies that there's nothing nothing good, nothing bad. Everything is God's will. For example, Swami gives an example. Something which might be good at this particular time might become bad at a later point of time. Okay. In Swami's own example, suppose you want to paint a building, you have to put bamboo scaffolding, to climb and paint till the top. But after the painting is over, the scaffolding looks very ugly. You have to remove it. Now because scaffolding was supposed to be there, and you say no. So what scaffolding was good at initial for the painting, later it becomes an ugly thing. It has to be removed. Then Swami says what is good in small quantity may be bad in a larger quantity. Example of salt. If it is in the right quantity, if it is little more, the food becomes bad. What is good for one person may be bad for another person. We all know the famous example of Ramakrishna Paramahamsa's two Shishyas, Vivekananda and Brahmananda, Rakhal. Now, Vivekananda was a very bold, aggressive young man, and Rakhal was a very timid person. So, there was an instance where Ramakrishna Paramahamsa tells Rakhal that you should be more assertive. Right. Because when somebody is insulting your guru, you can't just keep quiet and feel bad about it. So Vivekananda took the cue. Next day, he deliberately went to the same place and he was going to put that person in Ganges. And he came very proudly and said, this is what I did, Master. And he got reprimanded, saying, how can you be so aggressive? You're a sannyasi, you should. So he was like, Master, you told yesterday that we should be, that was for him, not for you. So what is good for one person might be bad for another person.
Swami says that, sometimes you have to pump a little air into the tires, sometimes you have to let go of air into the tires.
So we have to be switched on when we are reading Swami's discourses. Correct. We have to use our discrimination in what context Swami is saying a particular thing. We should not just pick a line and Swami has said this and make it a Mahavakya. Swami's words are Mahavakya, but in what context?
Yes.
That we have to
use our discrimination.
Another contradiction, if I can tell you here, is that when Swami says whether or not to ask. In one discourse, Swami says that you need not ask anything to God. He will bestow everything onto you. And another discourse, he says, Adagande ammena pettadu, you have to ask.
Without asking
how will you do?
will not feed you.
So this has been there a lot. I was thinking whether to ask, whether not to ask, because sometimes there are things which we would like to ask Swami. There are certain times when we feel like there is no need to ask anything to Swami. So what to do? So it was during the course of my research work in 2017 when I had to go for a organizational visit. I was not having enough finances with me. In the time I had, but I spent off everything. And that time I still remember I had 1,000 rupees in cash with me and another 1,000 rupees in my bank account. However, I was feeling that if I had 4,000 rupees in total, the trip would go very conveniently and I need not have any problem. However, I did not want to ask my parents, thinking that why should I ask them? Anyways, they have given so much. Swami is giving me every month, but still I spent. So it's my mistake. I should not be, because I thought that I have spent so much. Then I thought, okay, let me go ahead. I will go and I'll see how to manage. So I started my journey from here to the organization in the train. And while I was going, also this thought was there that how will I manage? But then I thought, I'm not going to ask anything. Let me see how it happens. But yes, 4,000 will be good enough. So because I had 2,000, I was thinking another 2,000 will do good to me. So as I was going, morning 4 o'clock, around 4 o'clock in the train, I get a message, that SBI message, that cash deposited by self, 4,000. Now I was little surprised. Morning 4 o'clock, how is it going to be cash deposited by self, 4,000? I thought, okay, fine. Somebody would have deposited yesterday, and probably it came. The message sometimes come late, so I thought probably the message came late. Let me check. Then morning I got down. I went to the organization. Then I called up my father and I asked, "Did you deposit some money?" He said, "No, nothing." Then I just looked at my bank account. I found there was no standing instruction wherein some amount will come from some other account to this account. Nothing. There was absolutely no one who could, and that it was clearly written, cash deposited by self. If it is check, means it will be check deposit. If it is some credit, means some difference. It is very clear. Then as I was thinking, it suddenly stuck to me. Oh, I thought 4,000 will be good enough, and I just looked at Swami. Though I didn't ask, even to this date, I am convinced that it is Swami, because nobody else could do that. And though I did not ask, it just happened. To this date, it's a mystery to who deposited into my account.
It's not
that
as
to
much a
myself.
mystery as you think it is.
That's where we
Back to the message of self, capital
Self.
SELF.
Correct. So I had this feeling from very tender age that whatever it is, I will never ask Swami about food, shelter, clothing, and money. These are the 4 things. Swami, better you give me, because you have given this life to me, so you have to sustain me. What I want to ask you is, how can I be nearer to you? How well I can put myself in line with you? These are the things which I want to ask, and you please guide me that way, rather than asking for you give me home, all those things you will give me. However it is, you will give me, and whatever is required for me, that will be taken care. However, this is coming to self. But there are sometimes what happens, we do ask. Especially I have been associated with taking care of Ganesha in the hostel. So what happened was, every Ganesh Chaturthi, and for some festivals like hostel anniversary, Ganesh Chaturthi, and some other events, I buy dhoti for Ganesha and offer it to Ganesha on those special days. So this year what had happened was, I don't know why, but I thought of buying a pink dhoti to Ganesha, and I bought a pink dhoti. But instead of offering it on Ganesh Chaturthi, I was in a mood, so I offered it on Guru Purnima day. Everything went on well. Then started thinking, oh, what should I do now? Supposed to be for Ganesh Chaturthi, again I have to buy or what? And then I thought, okay, there is a special budget which I keep every year for Ganesha. Now that money is gone, what to do? I was just thinking, this dilemmas was going on. I thought, okay, fine, let me see. I was going through so many e-commerce portals, and I was just looking. But yeah, this time again I wanted to offer a pink dhoti, but with some more specifications. Now this time I thought that, see, every time I get a big dhoti, I know how to tie, but there are some other students who are involved in taking care of Ganesha. They are not finding it easy to tie dhoti. So why not get some ready-made dhoti? No, where just you can just tie it without having any issues. I thought ready-made dhoti, that rose pink color with a golden border. These were the thoughts, but I was not finding that kind of thing anywhere. It was going on like that almost for a month. It happened, and I was just thinking what to do. And suddenly, around 2 weeks before Ganesh Chaturthi, there is a teacher in a hostel, and he was sitting in the reception desk. So he called me during one of the evening sessions while I was doing pradakshinas to Ganesha there. He told, Srinivas, you please come after finishing your pradakshinas. So I went to him and I asked him what happened. He told, see, I've got a parcel. You take this. One of the old students have given this parcel to give it to you, and he told this has to be offered to Ganesha. I said, what is this? No, you just open and see. And as I opened there, I found it was a pink dhoti with a golden color border, and it was a ready-made. So as I was just looking, I was so excited. I just thought, Swami, what to do, and you got it. So there I understand it is, we sometimes we ask, but the thing is, the one who makes us think, makes us ask is also God. So actually we need not ask anything. Though Swami says we have to ask, but at a higher end we should say that individually when we ask, we actually for our own things we need not ask anything. At the same time, if we are asking, let it be selfless, let it be for the greater good of all. And I think prayers will be answered instantaneously.
Yeah, I think
Especially when you are in custom, no, you'll get a customized solution to that.
No, the problem is, when I was thinking of what you were saying, the resolution is in the practice, right? When you're only thinking about it, you see the contradictions.
Yes.
But when you start practicing, you find that everything gets resolved, even as you try to please Swami through the practice. Right?
So
I think
faith is very important.
the purity of intent to practice, the genuineness in our approach to practice. And in fact, as we have, seen in all these instances, His mercy is boundless. There is this famous incident, not so famous, Bhagwan has mentioned from the Ramayana, where, when Rama comes back after the 14 years and Mother Kaikeyi is very sad, she is very repentant, and she says to Rama, what should I do to absolve myself of this sin, It's because of me that, you had to go to the forest and everything. And Rama says that, I will give you a message. You just go to river Sarayu and you freshen yourself, freshen up and come. And so Rama says, when you return, observe keenly along the riverside. So when she comes back, then Rama asks, what did you see along the river? And she says, I saw lamb and I saw goats, and what were they doing? And so they were bleating, meh, meh. So that's what she said. So there Rama said, that is the message.
Beautiful.
So Rama did not give the message directly. It was for her to interpret, understand.
Right.
An animal all the time thinks about I, me, mine, and Swami says that we have to move from Pashu to Pashupati. We have to move from that all the time saying Kaikeyi also did what she did because she thought about my son, my kingdom and everything. So from that, Swami says you should move to the stage of asking, who am I? Who am I? So, but Swami did not give the answer directly. What many times, this is the compassion of the Lord. He does not give us the instruction directly to us, because Swami says that He wants us to exercise our discrimination, because that is the only way we will grow. He wants to enable us to exercise that capacity within us, because you are all divine, Swami says, and you have that potential, and you have to rise to that potential. You can't all the time be spoon-fed, because then you will never grow. And I think that is one beautiful aspect of Bhagwan, where He wants us to follow His instructions, and as we follow, we have to grow. And if you are not growing, then He will know how to make us grow. Yeah. And the other beautiful aspect of His of this whole thing of He giving us messages through signs and these clues is, suppose you don't follow, for some reason you don't get it, then you don't incur the sin of Daiva Droha. You don't incur the sin of you have disobeyed God. At least destiny will take the benefit of doubt and think, okay, you didn't understand it, you will be given one more chance.
Swami himself has said it, I think.
Yes.
Swami said, I say it in such a way that this is my opinion, or put it in a very cryptic way, so that if at all you don't muster the strength to follow it, then I'll say, no, I did not tell it in a very categorical way.
Many of us might not have the willpower at that point to actually put into practice. Right. I mean, He's so merciful, if you see that way. So, as you're saying, brother, when we are dwelling into all these points, so much content is there for Atma Vichar. Swami has told that 70% of sadhana is actually you should do Vicharam. Yes. Then only you become more wise and you ripen as a devotee. But at all the point of time, even Shankaracharya, though he's the greatest Advaitist, he says Bhaja Govindam. Yes. He says you have to do bhakti. And for bhakti, Swami says, we all know Swami is Bhava Priya. Okay. So we should have the feeling, our heart should be open. And one beautiful instance where Swami gave a very beautiful personal experience of why the bhavam is so important. This was way back in the year 2010, and it was the summer vacation, and we had put up 2 dramas in front of Bhagwan. On the second drama, that day, Mango Prasadam was being distributed in Kulwant Hall. So that day, Swami, after the drama, Swami was giving all the actors the mango from the basin directly. Swami was giving 1-to-1. So I was coordinating, I was part of the drama team. So I came in the end, and this, I mean, all of us know when we go near Swami, whatever, whether it's for watch or vibhuti, it's a great opportunity. And that moment, at least, I mean, I have experienced Swami, whomever he is giving, and I've also seen as a witness also, when Swami is interacting with that person, Swami is so much in the present. He gives his 100% to that person. So you have to be 100% to receive that 100%. So you cannot be like distracted at that moment. So I went near Swami, and Swami gave the mango prasadam, that one-to-one eye contact, and Swami kept the prasadam in the hand. I bowed to Swami and I went, because I was also prasadam distribution boy. I kept the prasadam on my mat folded, and I continued with the prasadam distribution. Prasadam distribution got over. Okay, Swami took Aarti and Swami went back to Yajur Mandir. And then one altar department boy comes and says, brother, I didn't get my prasadam. Now this is quite involuntary in me, that even now if sometimes brothers who are with camera, they come and say, we got missed out because they were taking photograph, and somehow for some reason, some days it happens. So involuntary, many times now I'll give off my prasadam. So that day also involuntary, I just gave my prasadam to him and told I'll go and take it from, that time Reddy Garu was there, an elderly person, he was the prasadam in charge. I'll go and take it from him. So I gave the prasadam, and then after everything was, all the basins were deposited back, I told Reddy Garu, I have given my prasadam to one of the students. I didn't get prasadam. So he went inside, took out one very big mango and came, and he was quite strict, okay, and he said, Tisko, like that. So I took, and then I came out, Now this is something which I, even till this date, I don't understand how it happened. That's why in the Devi Mahatmya it said, Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Smriti Rupena Samsita Namastasya 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 Namo Namah. She is, Smriti means memory, she has absolute control over your memory also. So after I came out, I went for Ganesha Pradakshina and Subramanya Pradakshina, and then I get a call from one of my friends who was arriving that day from Delhi. So we did post-graduation together in 2007. After 3 years of working outside, he had applied again for MBA, so he was coming here. So he called me and told, I'm arriving within half an hour. So I told, come, Swami has given mango today, we'll sit together. In fact, Swami gave me directly. Now at that point, I just forgot about in the middle what happened. So he was like, okay, I'm coming, So he came, we took accommodation, because before accommodation office, we have to get the accommodation. First we rushed and we got the accommodation. And then I took out the mango, okay, this is what Swami gave. Swami gave with his own hand, and he's coming after a long period, So he was also in that feeling of, see, I've come and Swami is giving me that prasadam. So we took out one plate, and he went to the next room and asked for one knife. Okay, knife was not there because we wanted to cut. So then we managed with a spoon. I still remember, he got one spoon, and then he was telling Ganesh, which side Swami was holding the mango. I don't remember that, man. Okay, what we will do is we'll cut both the side, and we'll cut like this also, for the benefit of both of us will get on. So, and I seeing his yearning, and that I also was in that mode. Yeah, this is Swami. And we cut it into 4 parts, and then as I was eating, then it was, see, Swami touched the peel. Okay, now luckily it is a Benganpalli mango. We eat the peel also. I mean, Benganpalli we can eat also. Not the level of Vidura where... So, we started eating. So, he was in bliss, and I was also, seeing that, I was also like, Swami has touched this and Swami is holding it, and I was eating. First piece went. Then when I took the second piece, when I was biting it, suddenly that image, Tisko came, okay. Then it struck to me, oh my God, this is not that mango which Swami gave. Then I was like looking at him, and he was in his bliss. Then I didn't want to spoil his feeling. Let him finish the mango. He finished it, and then I didn't want to say, I just told him, brother, if you don't mind, something happened. I don't know how it happened, and this is what happened. And one side I was feeling very embarrassed why it happened, and I was upset with myself. How can I do that? Swami gave the mango and just gave it like that to that person. Okay. So I was very irritated. So anyway, he told, no, it's okay. Swami's prasadam and all that. So I was coming back, I was contemplating, and this is the insight that Swami gives. And Swami created the whole situation till the point, though the mango was not given by Swami, it was given by Reddy Garu. Okay. Till the point I remembered, it was as real, and the feeling that I had, this is what Swami has given. And I was in bliss. I was in so much of happiness. Then it occurred to me, your bhavam is what is more, even if Swami gives you everything, but if you don't have that bhavam, of appreciation, of gratitude, of that anuragam, if you don't have that, you're missing out on something great. So even at this moment, when we step into Kulwant Hall, when we sit, and when we, before starting bhajan or before doing anything, this is the place where God has walked for so many years. and Vishnu Pada is there. Swami himself has told, there is a Shanka and Chakra under my feet and I have walked all over the place. It is such a Punya Kshetra. And there are devotees who go for Shakti Peets, no? Mother's one part is there, one part. Whole divine body is there. And, see the sacredness of Kulwant. How blessed we are. If we, at least for 2 minutes or 1 minute, if think and then start the bhajan or whatever we do, no, it has a different level of experience rather than just doing it mechanically.
Right. I think that is the most important, from whatever has been said, like from what you were telling about that Kaiki's anecdote. The thing is, here is the body of work given by Swami himself. Probably one of the mistakes that we do when we're talking about the contradictions and the difficulties of following Swami's message, what we do is we have a dilemma, we have a problem, we want a ready-made solution in Swami's book.
Yeah.
Right? Swami does do that, like the examples that Ganesh shared. Sometimes we might need that instant fix and Swami does provide that too. But that's not what we have to look for all the time. Right? You have to approach this message with that reverence, with that shraddha, and that mananam is so important. Yeah. Swami often speaks about Shravanam, Mananam, and Nididhyasanam.
Swami says, the most beautiful insights comes during the Mananam.
During the Mananam, right? Because Swami says it is like eating food. Shravanam is the process of cooking the food, right? You're sitting and listening, it's only the cooking the food. Just by seeing the food, you're not going to get anything. You have to eat it, you have to masticate it, right? And that process of chewing is Mananam, Swami says. But even that does not give you the energy. It is when that Nididhyasana, when it becomes a part of you, when you digest it. Because many times, there are a lot of people who come and ask, has Swami said anything about this particular thing? Sometimes you will find those references in Swami's discourses. Many times you don't need to find them if you have engaged with Swami's message on a day-to-day basis. You will know that Swami will guide you to do the right thing at the right time. Right? So I think that reverence towards Swami's message, when we talk about Sai Sannidhi, how do you show that reverence to Swami? Right? It's not merely about taking his name, that is one way. It is not about making pilgrimages to Prashant Nilayam, that's another way. But the most important way is to show your reverence to Swami's message, right? But then even as you do that, the point that often comes to mind is there are still so many challenges, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And that is why the discussion is not complete, dear viewers, without addressing that. What are those many challenges that we face? As we are sitting here, that is in the back of our mind. Right?
No, one quick thing, brother, because this very important thing which came, Swami's discourse, it's not like some literary work that you read from end to end.
Right.
And means many people try to do that. Swami's own example, Swami says, there are people like who are into that analysis, over-analysis, it leads to paralysis. Swami says that a lunch box, okay, if you carry it, it's a weight. But if you eat that lunch, the same lunch will give you energy if it is inside. Okay, so if you don't do Mananam and Nididhyasanam, the same teaching, if you know more and if you don't practice, the guilt is one more additional problem. Right. So everything that we take, it's like a medicine, and we have to be sincere in what we, practice. That's very important.
Yeah. I mean, I think as Prem mentioned, this is the most important thing that we have, and we have to value it. We have to learn how to internalize it. But at the same time, as he said, there are times when you feel it is so difficult. I mean, yes, we know this is Swami's message, and we know that if you practice, Swami will be happy. But when you look at these messages and you feel they are such deep philosophical truths, the expectation of Swami is so high, and we have so many, world is very different. There are so many pressure, there are so many responsibilities, there are so many attractions. Somehow it seems like, I don't think I can make that cut. I don't think I can ever live up to the expectation or the level that Swami wants me to. And sometimes we might have these moments of weakness. Sometimes I think we need to go back to look for those messages of Swami which will help us to fill us with strength during these moments when we are not feeling inspired enough to take that plunge into Bhagwan's discourse. And we look at those kind of messages and see how we can fill ourselves with energy, enthusiasm, and joy to practice his teachings in our life. And we'll do that in the next part of this conversation. Thank you so much for joining us in this beautiful satsang in this birthday season, and really grateful to each one of you for being with us. And in fact, it is because of the loving responses from so many devotees that, Bhagwan helped us to come together and offer this satsang, and we'll pray to Swami that we will do, he helps us to continue and do one more session as our loving offering to him on this 96th birthday. Thank you so much. Sai Ram.